Thunder! 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 Thundercats! Ho!
Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Feel that, hear the roar. Thundercats are loose. Thunder, 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 Thundercats!
You knew that Groon would go for the sword, didn't you? You let him take it.
Better an honest enemy than a false friend, Lionel. You must learn to tell which is which.
Hello, Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp171, and after much waiting and anticipation, it has finally arrived. This morning, I woke up and there was a package from the Chosen Prime at my doorstep, and when I ripped it open, behold the awesomeness, which is the Super 7 Thundercats Ultimate Jaga! Okay, well, this is basically just a brown cardboard box, not very impressive, but you can see it's Thundercats and it says Jaga there. It has ages 14 here and Super 7 here, so you know there's something cool inside this box. And if we turn it around to the back, you can see that there are some credits here for the box, you know, Warner Brothers and Super 7 and a barcode and 14 plus and some other stuff. But you know what, it is nothing too important, but what is important is this beautiful packaging right here. This is the standard Thundercats from Super 7 that we are accustomed to seeing, and you have this beautiful red foiled Thundercat logo on the package. You have Thundercats here, you see Jaga, ages 14 plus, Super 7 here. Nothing on this side, nothing on this side. On the bottom of the box, you have some more credits for the box and a barcode. On the top of the box, you can see it's Ultimates. And finally, when we come to the back of the box, we see the awesome Thundercats logo. That is beautiful. It's huge and stretches all across there. And you have Super 7 right here and contents, one figure with accessories. So yeah, that is cool. But that is not all to this packaging. If you've seen some of these videos before, you know that this is a slipcover and it will slide off to reveal the beautiful figure inside. And boy, this box is a fingerprint magnet, so it's kind of hard to keep all the blurs off of it. But wow, that is so beautiful. But let us slip the cover off and we will go slowly as like a cool reveal. And you have Thundercats and you have some boots and some legs. And oh my gosh, it is coming, it is coming. Oh, wow, that is beautiful. This figure is amazing. He looks so awesome in this box. I have wanted this figure or something like this figure for 37 years. I kid you not. 1985 was when this show debuted on the television, and I loved Jaga. He was one of my favorite characters, and what they gave us wasn't too bad, and we'll go over that in just a minute. But wow, this figure looks fantastic in the box. Favorite Thundercat. Oh my goodness. So we can see him in there. Again, we saw the Thundercats logo. His name, Jaga. Nothing really different on this side. Nothing different on this side. Nothing different on the bottom. Nothing different on the top. But when we turn it to the back, we see an awesome picture of Jaga right there. And he is so cool. I love this artwork. It is fantastic. And we can scroll down and zoom in and we can pause it right there and get the read up of Jaga. Oh my goodness. I love everything about this presentation so far. Wow. And just as a side note, I did have to buy 2 of these because one is not ever coming out of the box. But this one I am going to review, and I can't wait to look at it. So let's jump right in, get this guy out of the box, because there is no way I want to see this guy in the box. I know you don't. So let's get him out and see what Jaga can do. And here we have Jaga out of the box, and out of the box from his toes to the tip of his pointy helmet. He is 7.5 inches tall, and he comes with a slew of accessories, and I can't wait to jump into those. But first, let's take a look at the Thundercat himself. And coming real close in on Jaga, I went ahead and took off his cape because I really want to get a good look at this entire mold and sculpt of this fella, and I didn't want the cape getting in the way. So starting with his head, he has a beautiful head sculpt. He is wearing his standard battle helmet. It is red on the top, and you have some silver going down the center here, and it comes up to this point, and that point is pointy. Ow! So be very careful. Have a nice little green gem here for kind of a centerpiece, and then it comes down on the back. You have like a little, I don't know what you would call this, coming off of the back of the helmet, but it's a nice little headpiece, kind of covers up his back of his neck, and then coming to his face, beautiful face. You can see his eyebrows coming out from his helmet here, nice sharp nose, beautiful molded beard in there, and you can see his mouth all closed. His eyes are beautiful brown. I don't know if the light and the camera is picking that up because I can't tell from my end, but they are beautiful. And you can see he's got kind of a two-tone on his face, you know, lighter here, and then it goes down to the darker around the sides. Got some silver coming down here for the side of the helmet, and then that will bring us down to his neck and shoulders, and that's done in like a kind of a tan coloring, and that is cool. In the middle of his chest, it comes back to a lighter color, kind of like a flesh tone. And you may wonder what this is. This is his bodysuit thing, and the cape has a Thundercat clasp, and it will go right in there, kind of peg in, and that will hold everything into place, and it looks beautiful. Coming down, beautiful sculpted arms, and he has two different wrist armors. Here he has a bracer, and it's nice blue and brown, and it has some buttons up at the top of it, really nice. And on the other side he has just a regular leather bracer, and it has some buttons here, and it's brown. Have a nice round red circle here and another little blue button here. I think, if I remember right, he used this as a communicator when he was on the bridge of the starship. He's like, move to attack, and stuff like that. I can't remember exactly. May have to go back and rewatch those episodes. And then anyway, the hands are done. You have the top of the hand, kind of that dark tan coming down to the lighter colors, so that is very nice. Here's his bodysuit. It is a nice I don't know, lighter tan color. It goes all the way around, and it's just basically one piece. Coming down to some legs, which are really nicely done and sculpted and molded, and some nice blue boots. Really love this figure. It's a very simple design, but Jaga, wow, had a really nice color motif to him. Very fleshy tone. Not much in the way of color, I guess, just the dark brown and the light brown for the chest. But I am hoping that they give us a ghost version of him, and that would be so awesome. All right, and that is what Jaga looks like. Moving on. And for our articulation, starting at the head can go around 360 degrees, and you can get a little wiggly waggly in it, but it can't really do much other than that. Can't look down and it can't look up because just the way it sits on the neck joint, it's really high and there's not really a lot of give. Coming down to the shoulders are on a hinge. They can go up, they can go down, and you do have all the way around if you're so inclined. You do have a bicep swivel below that, goes all the way around 360 degrees, and that will bring you to the elbow bend. Now, because of the muscular in the molding, it does not give you 90 degrees, but you almost get there. It's basically like 84 or something like that, if I know my degrees that well. And you also have a kind of like an elbow rotation. It's kind of tight, but you got it right there. It can go all the way around 360 degrees, and then that will bring you down to the hand, and the hand will go 360 degrees around, and it can go in and out because it is based on this hinge. So that is really cool, and that will bring us down to his chest. Now, if he's wearing his cape, the chest articulation is going to be limited because it's going to be attached right here, and if you try to move the articulation, it's going to snap out. So it's going to be up to you how far and how much articulation you want. You can always undo it and kind of move him and kind of hide it, but you know, anyway, He does have an ab articulation. You can see it right here. It can go down, it can go back, so that is cool. And then he has a waist articulation, which will get him around 360 degrees if you're so inclined. And that will bring you down to his legs. And his legs can go out to the side. And then you do have a thigh rotation around 360 degrees. And then that will bring you down to your knee. Your knee bend isn't, again, like the elbow, not 90 degrees because of the sculpt and the mold. You just can't get it there because it's going to keep backing into each other. But it's enough, I guess. And then that will bring you to your knee rotation. That will go around 360 degrees. I don't want to say boot cut because it is above the boot. So, and finally, that will come down to the foot. And the foot is on a rocker, and it will go all the way around the world, 360 degrees, and up a little bit, and down a little bit. And mine feels kind of loose, so I'm kind of worried about that. But, you know, I don't plan on using the foot a lot. But anyway, that is going to be Jaga's articulation. Moving on. And for accessories, starting off with Jaga's cape, he does come with two capes, actually. And one is this cloth good cape that's nice, it's blue. And you can see this is the Thundercat symbol I was speaking of that will latch onto his bodysuit. It'll just peg, using that peg right there, into place. And it's okay, it's kind of thick. And you do have bendy wire here to the side, so you can get it in different positions. I think is really good. Take a couple pictures of him wearing it. That is nice. And then for his second cape option, you have just this nice rubbery one. It isn't really hard. You know, you do get a little bit of movement in here, and if you don't like the cloth getting in the way, this will be a nice second choice. Again, you have your Thundercat symbol here, and it's attached to the peg that will just peg into his bodysuit right there. So I don't have a real preference, I don't think, of which one I prefer him to have. I like both of them, but if you want to get him in more dynamic poses, I think the cloth good would work because of the bendy wire positions that you can get it into. But anyway, yeah, Jaga definitely needs a cape, and they gave you two, so you can mix and match however you want him to look like. Okay, moving on. And for the next accessories, he does come with a total of 3 heads. This head on the left is his standard equipped head, and it's really nicely done. We looked at that earlier. And this head on the right is what I would say is the older Jaga head, like after it's been years with the Thundercats in suspension, he was about to die. You can tell that the cheeks are a little sunk in compared to this one, and his beard is a little longer and kind of bushier. So yeah, I would say that this is the older Jaga head. And for the third head, you basically get a unhelmeted version, which is a very nice head. And you got some ears pointing out there and some nice white hair around the back. And so yeah, I like all these heads. Only thing I think maybe they could have done was give us an empty helmet, so he could, like, if you had this hat on, he could be carrying his helmet around. But yeah, that's just nitpicking. But anyway, these are his alternate heads. Moving on. And for his next accessories, you can see he comes with 2 sets of weapon holding hands. And you're maybe asking yourself, why in the world do we need 2 sets of the same hand? Well, at first glance, they may appear to be exactly the same, and they are sculpted the same, and they are molded the same, and they are painted the same. However, there is one distinct feature that sets these hands apart. On one set of hands, if you look closely, you can see that there is a hinge on the top of the hand, and that will enable the hand to hinge up and down like such. And if you take a look at the second set of hands, you will see that the hinge is on the side to allow the hands to go left and right. So depending on how you want to hinge your figure and how you want him to hold his sword, you have choices in hand articulation, and those are his alternate hands. Moving on. And Jaga also comes with a special hand that is holding this orange glob of sparkly plastic. If you do not remember what this is, it is supposed to be simulating the first episode where Jaga handed the Thundercats their weapons. So it basically came across as like magic material, I guess, and he would like take some off and throw it at the Thundercats and they would appear with the weapons and their clothes. So yeah, I guess that's pretty neat if you wanted to have a thing from that episode accessory. And that is it. Moving on. And for Jaga's next accessory, he comes with his Sword of Omens in the small dagger form. And it's nicely done. You have a nice mold here. It's all done in like gray. And you can see the Eye of Thundera there. It's kind of a burgundy with an orange in the middle. The blade on mine seems a little stubby here at the top, but that just may be how it was cut in the factory, but you know, it's okay. And he can hold it really nicely. And if you want to do a comparison between this Sword of Omen's dagger form and Lion-O's, we'll bring that out. And Lion-O's is a little different in the fact that it has a little better paint apps. You can see there's some metallic blue here, and this is like not painted. The eye on Lion-O's is a darker red as opposed to this brown color. So I don't know if they did that intentionally or if it would just set them apart. But yeah, there is a bit of a difference in the dagger Sword of Omens. Alright, moving on. And the last accessory Jaga comes with is the Sword of Omens in the long sword form. And it looks great. It looks exactly like the Sword of Omen should. It is very long. The blade is a nice silver coming down to a Thundercat symbol here. And then you have the hilt comes up curved. And then the handle, it's nicely done. I don't think there's any paint on the handle, but you can see the hilt done in a nice blue. And the Thundercat symbol is nice and sharp. And I really like this, and he can hold it, and it looks really nice with him. And again, if you want to compare it with the sword that came with Lion-O, there is a few differences in the fact that Lion-O's sword has like a metallic blue paint on the hilt as opposed to just the flat blue. And I don't know again if that's just to set them apart or if they just didn't want to, but the Thundercat symbol here on Jaga's sword and this particular side is more defined. Let's see if we turn it around on the other side. Yeah, the Thundercat symbol on Jaga's sword looks a lot better because you can see the eye as opposed just to the blank symbol there. So yeah, I don't know, I might steal Jaga's sword and give to Lion-O. You know, I don't know, is it really stealing? It's the same sword. But anyway, that is the Sword of Omens. Moving on. And for comparison, here he is with the original Jaga from 1985. And there's a lot of similarities here, as there should be, because, well, it's the same character. And new, modern, updated version, a lot better, obviously. New, better articulation. But for the time, this wasn't so bad, and I did appreciate it. All right. And let's go ahead and throw in that original Lion-O. You can see he's definitely a lot bigger than I think he should be, but that's how this Lion-O was compared to all the other Thundercats. So yeah, pretty neat. And finally, for this particular line of toys, let's bring out Jaga's nemesis, Groom the Destroyer, Jaga. Ha, ha, ha. Now, I am sad that we haven't got the Super 7 Groom yet. It was supposed to be in Wave 2, but that has not shipped yet. So we'll have to play this out when we actually get that one. But for the time being, this isn't too bad of a representation between these two characters. The Groom from 1985 was a nice height, and I think works really well with this current Jaga. All right, moving on. And for a more modern comparison, here he is with the other Super 7 Thundercats, Lion-O and Panther. And this group is starting to give me chills. I love how each of these figures look. I just wish it didn't take so long to get them out, and I can't wait to get the rest of the team together. So, wow, this is cool. Moving on. And if you want to see how he looks with the bad guys I've reviewed so far, here he is with Mumra, the Decayed form, and Jackalman. It looks okay. He matches up with them. Moving on. And this has been the Super 7 Ultimates Thundercats Jaga. And all I can tell you about this toy is it is a dream come true. I have waited for 37 years for a figure like this to be put out, and Super 7 didn't disappoint. I love this figure. It is so nicely done. I cannot say enough good things about this figure. It was definitely worth the wait. It is beautifully sculpted, beautifully molded. The articulation is great. The accessories, the 2 cape option was awesome. Again, the only thing accessory-wise I think he could have used was a helmet he could hold while he had the helmetless head on, but I'm not going to nitpick about that. This figure was awesome. I am so happy to have it. And if you like Thundercats and you're a Thundercats fan, I highly recommend you checking your local online retailer, seeing if they sell the Super 7 Thundercats, and getting this guy up, because this is a fantastic figure. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I bought 2 of these. One is never coming out of the box, and this one, oh, I will play with him forever. Or until like I wear his joints out. Just a couple things of note about him. His hands are really stiff out of the box, so I would recommend using a hair dryer or some hot water to get those loosened up so you can put the sword in. I would also use caution about changing out the heads. The neck on mine started to creak a little bit as if the 2 parts were coming unglued, because I may have been putting a little too much force trying to pop the head off, so be careful with that. But other than those 2 small items, I think you got a perfect, very playable figure here, and he can do anything you want him to do. I just love this guy. I love how he looks, and can't be more happier. Well, actually, I can be more happier if Super 7, please listen, I hope you're watching. Please, 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 please give us a variant Jaga where he's glow-in-the-dark blue like you did us with the Mumra and the Evil Glow. I so very much want a glow-in-the-dark Jaga that I could have in my room. Of course, I say that, but I wouldn't take him out of the box either. I'd just put him in the box, maybe have it open in my room so the light can get to it, and at night he'll just glow. But anyway, if you're looking for this guy, I bought him from the Chosen Prime, which is one of my favorite online retailers. I'm sure Big Bad Toy Store would have them, and a couple other online retailers. He will probably go between $50 to $60 depending on where you get him. So if you're looking for him, happy hunting. And that's it, guys. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, keep playing.